I've never worked with Tyler Perry.
Okay.
I never worked with Tyler Perry. The way that relationship came about was, firstly, Daniel was making the call because he was mad because he thought Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey was trying to steal his movie from him. So those were the first phone calls I was getting, baby, and he was reading them for life, okay, calling them all the things, right? So then Tyler Perry and I had a conversation at the Hoodie Awards. At the time, it was called the Hoodie Awards, when they were trying to get me to go do all of this press internationally.
And for those that don't know, who put on that Hoodie Awards?
Steve Harvey put on the Hoodie Awards in Vegas, right? So it just makes me smile the way this whole scene went down. So I'm beckoned to go into Tyler Perry's dressing room, right? I'm beckoned. So I go into Tyler Perry's dressing room, and there are about maybe 25 people on Tyler Perry's team. And he does this.
Like that. Okay.
And everyone leaves. Well, I have my security with me. And I looked at my security and like, you don't work for Tyler Perry. So my security stayed in the room. So Tyler Perry says to me, listen, you may really want to consider promoting this film, because if you get nominated for an Oscar award, your next film is $3 to $5 million. And if you win it, your next film is $6 to $8 million. I said, Tyler, who you talking to? I'm a black woman. Where do they pay those type of salaries, brother? I said, what I cannot do, Tyler, is work for free. I've done what I was supposed to do. I cannot go overseas and do this for free, Tyler. So then he goes on about his spiel, you know. I said, well, listen, you can write me the check for me to go overseas. I don't care where the money comes from, but I'm not going to do it for free. He says, well, I don't believe in giving money away for free. I said, I don't believe in working for free, so we're on the same page. Baby, he be saying it like I'm a problem.
Oh, you have been a problem.
Well, Steve, okay.
What was it? Let's go.
Let's go.
You started getting labeled as difficult.
Yes.
Why do you believe that happened, and do you see that changing, and why?
I got labeled as difficult, my husband and I, and my husband is Sydney, who happens to be my manager. We got labeled as difficult because I said one word, and that was no. Now, I said no to some very powerful people. I said no to Oprah Winfrey. I said no to Tyler Perry. I said no to Lee Daniels. And I said no to Lionsgate. And the difficulty came in when people that look like me, like Oprah, Tyler, Lee Daniels, and I gotta put my brother Steve on the list. Y'all knew I was not wrong. Each one of you said to me, Mo'Nique, you're not wrong. And when I heard you go on the air and you said, my sister done burnt too many bridges, and there's nothing I can do for her now. Steve, do you know how hurt I was? Inequality is devastating, and it's extreme. And when people said, Mo'Nique, do you think calling a boycott was extreme? You damn right. But isn't inequality extreme? So we've got to get to a place where we're unafraid to say it out loud.
Okay.
What I would have loved, what I would have appreciated from my brother was had you picked up the phone before you went on the air and said, Mo'Nique, you've burned too many bridges and there's nothing I can do. See, I would have appreciated had my brother called me up and said, baby, let's talk. Because you doing that was a part of me being difficult.
But not before that, though.
Yes, baby.
Remember the moment on stage?
Oh, yes.
See, now that right
was a
there.
wonderful moment, Steve.
No, it wasn't.
Oh,
Mo'Nique.
my goodness.
No, it wasn't.
That was one of those moments.
See, no, it wasn't.
That Richard Pryor whispered in my ear and said, say it. You say it.
Richard
because
Pryor did
I'ma
not
tell
tell
you
you to say that
Yes,
with
he
your
did.
crazy ass.
Oh, baby, yes, he did. Yes, he did. I do not regret, as I said on the Steve Harvey show, I do not regret one moment of that night on that stage.
No, in case you don't know, Mo told Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey,
Tell him.
and Lee Daniels to suck her private parts.
Not my private parts.
Well, you said if I had one,
Yeah.
I want them three to suck my private parts.
Yeah.
It wasn't private parts on stage. So now, then I went, I quit breathing. I quit breathing for you.
I didn't.
What happened to you, Mo,
Yes.
was when you made that statement, the narrative got flipped. It wasn't about Netflix no more. It wasn't about Netflix no more. The attention was all off of
That
where
was
we
before
needed to go.
Netflix.
Huh?
That was before Netflix.
So good. So now when you bring up Netflix, it don't get no win, but you done just said this to these three people. And these three people,
Yes.
not because they're powerful, but because of who they've come. And what happens is, I told you, we can't cure darkness with more darkness.
What we can do is cure it with comedy. And what I'm not gonna do, Steve, I'm never, ever gonna waver from my comedy show on that stage. That's my gift, and that's my freedom. And what happens is, when you allow people to start taking your freedom and your gift and making it become what makes them comfortable, we then lose. When you called me with the morning show on the phone, I said to you, Steve, my family is suffering behind this. And y'all know I did nothing wrong. Y'all know my husband did nothing wrong. But none of y'all in real time, was strong enough to go publicly and say, we can't throw our sister under the bus.
Because, Mo, listen to me. We fighting two wars here.
What war?
There's two wars. It's what your issue is, and it's what the perception of the issue is, and the narrative has changed.
See, I'm hearing what you're saying,
Mo.
baby, and I agree with it when the narrative changes. But if all of y'all said, this is the only issue I have with it, baby, when all of y'all said privately, to include Oprah, all of y'all said privately, I've done nothing wrong.
When you tell the truth, you have to deal with the repercussions of the truth. We black out here. We can't come out here and do it any kind of way we want to. Listen to me. Your husband can't be the Sydney that he really is out here.
Let me tell you something.
That flexing, we
tell
got
you
to flex
something.
a different way. We out here in a game. This the money game. This ain't the black man's game. This ain't the white man's game.
It's
This
the
the
money
money
game.
game.
But I'm
We
gonna
in the
tell you
money game.
something.
And
We're
you
in the money
cannot
game.
sacrifice yourself. The best thing you can do for
This is
poor
why I
people
love
is
my
not be
brother.
one of them. You cannot
We're in
help
the money
them
game,
all.
but let me tell you what the game is
Cannot
before the
help
money
them
game.
like this.
Before the money game, it's called the integrity game. And we've lost the integrity worrying about the money. Fast forward.
Things, everything kind of comes out with Lee, Oprah, and there's an audio conversation that you guys had with Tyler.
I got a call on my cell, and her and I would just so happen to be standing together. And that's when he called me and looking for Mo'Nique to say, hey, I'd like to speak with y'all because I heard your podcast, I could hear the hurt, and you heard the audio.
Community is involved, and they want to see how it's going to play out. Because the community is saying, wait a minute, hold up. We don't know this sister to be no bullshitter. We know she a loudmouth. We know she'll say some shit off the wall. But what we know about it is she true to her word.
And all I would ask you is two questions. The first question is, did you not just say it was wrong? Did you not just say it was wrong, Tyler? To say she was difficult for not doing something that she was not contractually obligated to do? Did you not say that you would feel that that was wrong? Or am I missing something?
I absolutely said that, yes.
So the question I would say is,
okay, is there a number? You know, taking that back to them was just a huge problem, okay? And I'm listening to David Talbot thing in a minute, because I just watched your podcast, and it really broke my heart, because number one, I feel you. I feel the sadness that's from you in all of this. And I don't want you to feel that. I mean, especially for me. I can't speak for anybody else. But for me, I'm not anyone that wants to hurt or offend anybody, especially you. I think you are brilliantly talented. I think you should have a lot more happening than you from that award. I thought for sure that if you had campaigned and won it and played by their rules, what would have happened is in the next deal, you would have got more money, millions of dollars, and your career in this film would have been much different. I believe that much in your talent. So in saying all of that, I just say it's just heartbreaking, because I don't ever want you to think that I'm now trying to blackball or say anything. Please give me when I say this. I'm not trying to hurt you. I would never try to hurt you.
if Mo'Nique asked Lionsgate for a favor and they told her no, and she's asking for a favor that is not contractual, not something that they're contractually obligated to do, and they told her no, but then she went and told the world how difficult that they were, do you think that that would be fair or unfair?
No, that's not fair. It's not fair.
Pardon me. So the question I would ask of you, good sir, because I appreciate you being honest enough to answer that with a relative quickness. I really do. So the question that I would ask you is this. If we should do unto others as we would have them do unto ourselves, the question I would ask is, how do you sit back, or how would you feel if someone said about you that you were difficult to work with because you didn't want to perform for them a function that you were not contractually able or obligated to do? How would you feel about that?
Well, as I said, that's not fair. If I bring a movie for Mo'Nique over there, I'm going to have to say it. I'm going to have to defend it. I'm going to have to fight for it.
Well, it's easy. It's easy because all you would be doing is telling the truth. You are 6'6" black man.
Come
okay?
on. Listen, I ain't got no problem, man. I ain't got no problem. Trust me when I tell you, I ain't got no problem.
Well, that's why we saying then. Then say it now. Say it now.
Say it now. I'm black and I'm proud.
Come on.
James Brown is counting.
I'm saying it now. I will let all of this cool off when I get back out on the press tour to promote my next thing. I know it's going to come up. That is when I will talk about it. But no, it's too hot. It's too hot. Y'all heated it up.
One thing that stood out in that conversation, it ended with the notion that he was about to speak publicly to start defending you, or kind of let people know, hey, she was actually right. Did that ever happen? Did he ever come to your defense?
No. We've never heard Tyler Perry say Mo'Nique did nothing wrong, except when your listeners hear it on the audio. But he's never come out publicly and said that.
How did that make you feel initially? Were you surprised by that? Because when I listened to the audio, it seemed like genuine camaraderie, like amongst you guys.
Yes.
Seemed like he was laughing at the end. All right, now, I think he was on vacation.
Yes.
You mentioned this in the podcast. It seemed like it ended in a good place.
Yes.
Like, you felt like, okay, cool, we got him. But to see him not come out at this whole time, how does that make you feel?
Remember when I said earlier, I've never seen so many cowards and black men in this business? I would have to put my brother Tyler Perry in that. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. See, when I see you do a clip and you go to T.D. Jakes' church, and I watch you write a check for $1 million in front of the congregation, and you give it to this man, was that for the congregation to give more money? Or was that really genuine? See, when no one's watching, who are you? To when everyone's watching. And we got a chance to see when no one was watching. See, your listeners will hear that audio, when he makes statements like, and I gotta bring this up, Daddy, because it's a part of it and you understand the devalue of black women. Recently, I saw a quote that my sister Taraji put out there and said, Tyler Perry was the first person to pay me my quote. And that's a black man. Well, he says, I'm the first person to pay Taraji P. Henson the most money she's ever made. And then we said, but did you pay her fairly? And then he said, I paid her more than she's ever made. What does that mean, brother? When you go and buy Tiffany Haddish a car, see, if we remember the movie Cadillac Records, I'll keep buying you a car, but I won't give you what you're worth. So...
Because if I give you what you're worth, you can buy your own car.
I don't need you to buy no car. I don't need you to pay for me to go on no vacation. Just give me what my resume says I'm supposed to get. So when you ask me how does it feel to not hear him come out, I've seen The Wiz. And that's why I am so passionate about it. And I'm grateful that I do have my husband because I can get extremely passionate about it. And I don't want to ever seem like I'm talking harshly about my brothers and sisters, but it takes me to a different place when I feel like you're scamming us. And I feel like you're not being honest and truthful. And that's why the same story keeps repeating itself, because we keep doing the same history over and over and over again. Wait a minute.
If I crumble, my children crumble, my grandchildren crumble. I cannot, for the sake of my integrity, stand up here and let everybody that's counting on me crumble so I can make a statement. There are ways to win the war in a different way.